of months of careful planning. They say that his family's decision to move to this home in Kabul, in Afghanistan, tipped them off to his location, and that once Zawahri was on the premises, they began studying his movements in order to try to take him out without killing any members of his family. And it was when he stepped out onto a balcony, something that they said he had a tendency to do, that they unleashed this drone strike, struck him with missiles, and they say that no one else in the home was injured or killed. A very daring operation. President Biden, we're told, was involved in the planning, that it was the result of several meetings where he was briefed by some senior officials about all of the options to take out the leader of al-Qaida.
This was and here comes the president speaking on the balcony there. He's still recovering from COVID, which is why he's on the balcony and not inside. President Biden.
My fellow Americans, on Saturday, at my direction, the United States successfully concluded an airstrike in Kabul, Afghanistan, that killed the emir of al-Qaida, Ayman al-Zawahri. You know, Zawahri was bin Laden's leader. He was with him the whole time. He was his number 2 man, his deputy at the time the terrorist attack of 9/11. He was deeply involved in the planning of 9/11. One of the most responsible for the attacks that murdered 2,977 people on American soil. For decades, he was the mastermind behind attacks against Americans, including the bombing of the USS Cole in 2000, which killed 17 American sailors and wounded dozens more. He played a key role in the bombing of U.S. embassies in Kenya and Tanzania, killing 224 and wounding over 4,500 others. He carved a trail of murder and violence against American citizens, American service members, American diplomats, and American interests. And since the United States delivered justice to bin Laden 11 years ago, Zawahiri has been a leader of al-Qaida, the leader. From hiding, he coordinated al-Qaeda's branches and all around the world, including setting priorities for providing operational guidance that called for and inspired attacks against U.S. targets. He made videos, including in recent weeks, calling for his followers to attack the United States and our allies. Now, justice has been delivered, and this terrorist leader is no more. People around the world no longer need to fear the vicious and determined killer. The United States continues to demonstrate our resolve and our capacity to defend the American people against those who seek to do us harm. You know, we make it clear again tonight that no matter how long it takes, no matter where you hide, if you are a threat to our people, the United States will find you and take you out. After relentlessly seeking Zawahiri for years under Presidents Bush, Obama, and Trump, our intelligence community located Zawahiri earlier this year. He had moved to downtown Kabul to reunite with members of his immediate family. After carefully considering the clear and convincing evidence of his location, I authorized a precision strike that would remove him from the battlefield once and for all. This mission was carefully planned, rigorously minimized the risk of harm to other civilians. And 1 week ago, after being advised that the conditions were optimal, I gave the final approval to go get him. And the mission was a success. None of his family members were hurt, and there were no civilian casualties. I'm sharing this news with the American people now, after confirming the mission's total success through the painstaking work of our counterterrorism community and key allies and partners. My administration has kept congressional leaders informed as well. When I ended our military mission in Afghanistan almost a year ago, I made the decision that after 20 years of war, the United States no longer needed thousands of boots on the ground in Afghanistan to protect America from terrorists who seek to do us harm. I made a promise to the American people that we continue to conduct effective counterterrorism operations in Afghanistan and beyond. We've done just that. In February, our forces conducted a daring mission in Syria that eliminated the emir of ISIS. Last month, we took out another key ISIS leader. Now we have eliminated the emir of al-Qaida. He will never again allow Afghanistan to become a terrorist safe haven, because he is gone, and we're going to make sure that nothing else happens. You know, it can't be a launching pad against the United States. We're going to see to it that won't happen. This operation is a clear demonstration that we will, we can, and we'll always make good on the solemn pledge. My administration will continue to vigilantly monitor and address threats from al-Qaida, no matter where they emanate from. As Commander-in-Chief, it is my solemn responsibility to make America safe in a dangerous world. The United States did not seek this war against terror. It came to us, and we answered with the same principles and resolve that have shaped us for generation upon generation: to protect the innocent, defend liberty, and we keep the light of freedom burning, a beacon for the rest of the entire world, because this is a great and defining truth about our nation and our people. We do not break. We never give in. We never back down. Last year on September 11th, I once more paid my respect to Ground Zero in New York City, at that quiet field in Shanksville at the Pentagon, standing in the memorial at Ground Zero, seeing the names of those who died forever etched in bronze, is a powerful reminder of the sacred promise we made as a nation. We will never forget. The memorial also bears the quotation from Virgil: "No day shall erase you from the memory of time. No day shall erase you from the memory of time." So we continue to mourn every innocent life that was stolen on 9/11 and honor their memories. To the families who lost fathers and mothers, husbands, wives, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, friends and co-workers on that searing September day, it is my hope that this decisive action will bring one more measure of closure. No day shall erase them from the memory of time. Today and every day, I'm so grateful for the superb patriots who serve the United States intelligence community and counterterrorism communities. They never forget. And those dedicated women and men who tirelessly work every single day to keep our country safe, to prevent future tragedies. It is thanks to their extraordinary persistence and skill that this operation was a success. They've made us all safer. And to those around the world who continue to seek to harm the United States, hear me now. We will always remain vigilant, and we will act, and we will always do what is necessary to ensure the safety and security of Americans at home and around the globe. Today, we remember the lost. We commit ourselves to the safety of the living, and we pledge that we shall never waver from defending our nation and its people. Thank you all, and may God protect our troops and all those who serve in harm's way. We will never give up.
President Joe Biden there announcing the operation, that the drone strike that killed al-Qaida leader Ayman al-Zawahri, saying that of the United States, we do not break, we never back down. Let's go back to Nancy Cordes, who's there at the White House. Nancy?
John, we just got some more details from the president about this strike, and what we've also been told by senior administration officials is that there were several meetings that were convened throughout the summer as they discussed how exactly to go after Ayman al-Zawahri. They even built a model of the home that he was living in Kabul. They brought that to meetings with the president in the Situation Room, where he could ask questions about what exactly they plan to do and how they could best minimize the potential for civilian casualties. And at the end of the day, they say they were able to strike Zawahri on a balcony of that home. They were able to maintain somehow the structural integrity of the building so it didn't collapse upon the other people who were inside. And that senior administration official also told us that the members of al-Zawahri's family that were living there have now been moved somewhere else. They're trying to destroy evidence, they say, that he was ever there, because it obviously creates some major questions for the Taliban about whether they were harboring this al-Qaida leader in the capital city, in Kabul, and whether they knew that he was there. John?
Thank you, Nancy. We are going to bring in CBS News senior national security contributor Michael Morell. He is the former acting and deputy CIA director. Al-Qaida leader Zawahri was killed in Afghanistan, Taliban territory, Mike. So, and just to talk to viewers about what they're looking at there, it is the FBI most wanted poster that now has deceased underneath a picture of al-Zawahri. So, Mike, why is it important that this strike was in Afghanistan?
So it was important that it was in Afghanistan because it's really hard, John, for me to believe that Zawahiri was in Kabul without the knowledge of at least some of the Taliban leadership. So this idea, right, that the Taliban would break with al-Qaida, Taliban 2.0 would break with al-Qaida, I think has been shown to be false. Most counterterrorism experts expected that the relationship would continue. I think that it shows it. I think the value of this strike is largely, John, in making clear to any other al-Qaida individuals in Afghanistan that they need to worry about their security. It's pretty clear that Zawahiri was living there, fairly openly, not trying to hide in this home, coming out onto the balcony. So the message this sends is that if you're an al-Qaida individual and you're in Afghanistan, you got to worry about your security. And I think it underscores, John, that, what the president said a year ago, that it's going to be possible to conduct counterterrorism operations over the horizon has been proven to be true.
And so that's true of because that was a major policy shift to and so your view is that this is a positive read on the U.S. ability to make strikes without having ground troops in Afghanistan or anywhere else that counterterrorism operations would take place.
So once we left, a number of people questioned whether we'd be able to continue to conduct operations there. And I was one of those, right? I questioned whether that would be possible. But I think this shows two things. One is that our focus remains on al-Qaida in Afghanistan, and that's an important thing in a world where we are focused on Russia and Ukraine, and we're focused on China. It's a good thing that we stay focused on al-Qaida in Afghanistan. And number two, it shows that we can collect evidence, that we can collect intelligence over the horizon, and that when we have that intelligence, we can act over the horizon to protect our security.
All right, Mike Morell, thank you so much for that analysis. Our coverage of al-Qaida leader al-Zawahiri's death will continue on CBS News streaming and your local news. We leave you with a look at Lower Manhattan and One World Trade Center. All those that plotted the attack are either dead or captured. One World Trade stands as the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, a reminder of the resilience of New York City and the American people. This has been a CBS News special report. I'm John Dickerson.
News 3 Now is always on.
Get the Channel 3000 app, activate the push alerts, and we will send you breaking news, traffic, and weather alerts as it happens.
The Channel 3000 app. Get it now.
Powered by News 3 Now.